In ancient Egypt around 42 CE, Christianity's roots took hold in vibrant Alexandria, where the Apostle Mark preached repentance and salvation, igniting the faith. By 330 CE, Ethiopia's King Ezana embraced Christianity as the state religion, uniting his kingdom under one God. In North Africa, St. Augustine of Hippo shaped Christian thought, emphasizing grace and mercy as the faith flourished across the continent. Scene 1. Ancient Egypt, 42 CE, the birth of African Christianity. The script opens in Alexandria, Egypt around 42 CE, a bustling cosmopolitan hub of trade, culture, and intellectual exchange. The city, a melting pot of Greek, Coptic, and Latin-speaking peoples, sets the stage for the introduction of Christianity to Africa. The Apostle Mark, one of Jesus' disciples, is depicted preaching to a small crowd in a vibrant marketplace. His message of repentance and salvation through Jesus Christ resonates with some listeners, laying the foundation for the Coptic Church, one of the earliest Christian communities in Egypt. This scene establishes Alexandria as a pivotal center for early Christianity. The narrator explains that Mark's missionary efforts were instrumental in planting the seeds of a faith that would endure for centuries, despite later challenges. The Coptic Church, with its distinct traditions and theology, became a cornerstone of Egyptian Christianity, influencing the broader Christian world. This initial spread in Egypt highlights the early adaptability of Christianity to African contexts, as it integrated with local cultures while maintaining its core teachings. Scene 2, Ethiopia, 330 CE, the Kingdom of Aksum's conversion. The narrative transitions to the Kingdom of Aksum in modern-day Ethiopia around 330 CE. The scene depicts King Ezana, ruler of a powerful East African empire, engaging with a Christian missionary who introduces him to the teachings of Jesus Christ. Aksum, strategically located at the crossroads of trade routes connecting Africa, the Middle East, and India, was a prosperous and influential kingdom. The missionary's message of eternal salvation and unity under one God appeals to Ezana, who is shown proclaiming Christianity as the state religion before his court, holding a cross aloft as a symbol of his commitment. The narrator underscores the significance of Ezana's conversion, noting that Aksum became the second state in the world, after the Roman Empire, to adopt Christianity as its official religion. This pivotal moment gave rise to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which remains a cornerstone of Ethiopian identity to this day. The scene highlights the role of royal patronage in spreading Christianity, and the enduring legacy of Aksum's conversion, which positioned Ethiopia as a Christian stronghold in Africa for centuries. Scene 3, North Africa, 5th century. The influence of Augustine of Hippo. The focus shifts to Carthage in modern-day Tunisia during the 5th century, where St. Augustine of Hippo, one of Christianity's most influential theologians, is shown teaching a group of students. Augustine's passionate discourse on God's grace as a divine gift underscores his theological contributions, which shaped Christian thought across the globe. Born in what is now Algeria, Augustine's journey from Manichaeism to Christianity is highlighted, emphasizing his role in solidifying the faith in North Africa. The narrator explains that Augustine's writings on grace, sin, and salvation became foundational to Christian theology, influencing both African and global Christian communities. The scene portrays a thriving Christian culture in North Africa, with Carthage as a center of learning and faith. However, the narrator foreshadows challenges to come, as the region's Christian dominance would soon face significant changes. This scene underscores the intellectual and spiritual contributions of African Christians during this golden age, with Augustine as a central figure. Scene 4, the 7th century, the rise of Islam. The script moves to the 7th century, depicting the expansion of the Islamic Caliphate across North Africa. A visual of a camel caravan crossing the desert symbolizes the gradual encroachment of Islamic influence into Christian strongholds. The narrator describes how cities like Carthage fell under Muslim rule, leading to a decline in Christian influence in much of North Africa. A poignant scene shows a Christian bishop in an empty church, reflecting on the uncertain future of his faith community. This scene highlights the transformative impact of Islam's rise. While Christianity persisted in Egypt and Ethiopia, or led to their
dominance in
absorption
North
into the new
Africa
faith
waned significantly.
The narrator emphasizes the resilience of Christian communities in these regions, particularly the Coptic Church in Egypt and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in the history of African
which continued
Christianity,
to thrive despite
illustrating
external
the challenges of maintaining faith in the face of political and cultural shifts. Scene 5. The 15th century. European missionaries and colonial influence. The narrative advances to the 15th century, focusing on the arrival of Portuguese missionaries along the West African coast, particularly in Angola and Mozambique. The scene depicts European ships docking and missionaries disembarking, offering Bibles and cross-shaped amulets to local communities. A missionary engages with an African king, presenting Christianity as a path to peace and salvation. The narrator notes that these missionary efforts were often intertwined with the colonial ambitions of European powers, which sought to establish trade routes and political dominance. This scene explores the complex dynamics of early European missionary work in Africa, where the spread of Christianity was both a spiritual endeavor and a tool of colonial influence. Scene 6. The 19th century. Missionary expansion and exploration. The script moves to the 19th century, showcasing the efforts of missionaries like David Livingstone, who is depicted trekking through Central Africa's dense jungles to spread the gospel. Livingstone's interactions with curious villagers highlight the missionary zeal to reach remote regions. The narrator explains that Protestant missionaries from Britain, Germany, and the United States played a significant role in this era, establishing schools, hospitals, and churches across the continent. A scene of African villagers being baptized in a river symbolizes the growing acceptance of Christianity in new regions. The narrator emphasizes the transformative impact of missionary work, which not only spread the faith but also introduced Western education and healthcare. However, the scene also acknowledges the cultural disruptions caused by these efforts, as missionaries often viewed African traditions as incompatible with Christianity. This period marks a significant expansion of Christianity, with the faith beginning to take on distinct African characteristics as it integrated with local cultures.